Okay, so here is what you're going to be doing for the coral bleaching activity. So it all starts here in Canvas, right? So hopefully at this point you've already watched the video on coral bleaching. You really want to get an idea of what coral bleaching is and what causes it. A really big misconception with coral bleaching is people think that it has something to do with ocean acidification, which is the pH getting too low, and that's really not what is causing these extended or mass coral bleaching events that are causing death of a lot of coral around the world. It has to do with the warmth of the waters and not the pH, which we'll talk about ocean acidification later. But make sure you understand what coral bleaching is and how coral bleaching occurs and what is it meant by for coral to bleach. So you're now watching this video. So once you're done with the video, you're going to go through each of these bullet points. The first one here is to look at different locations on the earth, and reefs occur all over the globe. And so what you're going to do, I have picked out 28 of them, which is about one for every person in all of my classes. And so everyone's going to pick one, and I don't want people to pick the same one. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this link here, and it's going to take you to this. Now, what you wanted to do, for me, this didn't happen. I don't know why it didn't happen, but you want it to open up in Google Sheets. So you're going to want to make sure that you have Google Sheets and Google Drive on your iPad, because you want this to open up in Google Sheets, otherwise you won't be able to edit it. And so what you want to do is you're going to go through here. Here are all the different options for coral reefs, and just pick one. You might not know, where Hurghada is or Abu Thama is, but it doesn't really matter. So I put my name in the first one just because I'm going to show you what you do. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click the file, download file, and what it's going to do is it's going to give you the temperature profile for that particular location. And so this is what it looks like. So when you download this, I put it into my Google Drive, and so here is Fiji. And so what I get here is a temperature profile for 2001 to 2002, and what the water temperature was during that time period. And then you have 2009 to 2010 and 2013 to 2014. And so what you need to understand about how to read these is the red line is the maximum monthly average. So that's the highest monthly average from going back the last 30 years. The highest monthly average for that location. Now, coral bleaching, corals or oceans all have sort of different temperatures, and corals live in all different temperatures. And it's not a problem if the water's warm or the water's cool. What matters is if the water is warmer than it normally is for an extended period of time. That's what causes problems. And so what they've measured here is the amount of time. I don't know if I can't really mark on here. What they've done is measured the blue sort of, polygon shape looking things. That is the number of weeks, a number of weeks that it was above the temperature. And so going a few weeks is fine. The coral may bleach, but it usually will come back. But if you go for an extended period of time, that can cause mass coral bleaching that can actually cause the coral to die. And so what we're looking at is these areas, and you want to make sure that you're looking at the right one, because the maps that we're going to do are 2002, I think 2010, and 2014. I think that's what it is. So you want to make sure, because you have two of them here, obviously, with Fiji being in the Pacific, you have in the equatorial Pacific area, You do get times where it is warm twice. So you want to make sure you're looking at the right one. So we're looking at 2002. So we're looking at the one on the right for all of these. And so we see that in 2002, it was 20.7 weeks, which is a lot. But in 2010, only 1.5. And then back in 2014, there was 16.3. And so once we have those, you're going to go to the lab. And so here's the coral reefs lab. And so it's not a, sorry, I keep calling it a lab, but it's not a lab. It's just an activity. I mean, it used to be a lab, but there isn't really much to it. And so it just became an activity. So here's some more information about corals. Definitely want to make sure you understand about corals. The video shows a lot about it, but you may want to read through this information about corals and how they bleach. We're going to skip all this stuff because the lab actually had you calculate the area under the curve and the number of weeks. I just threw all that out just for time's sake, and I just gave it to you, so you don't need to do any of this stuff. So this is the page that we want to go to, and so we want to put down our location. So here, obviously, I'm going to put that my location is Fiji, and then my latitude and longitude. I want to get that. I'm going to need that. So it looks like the latitude's 18.5 and then 178.5. So 18.5 and what did I already forget it? 18.5 and 175, so 178.5. That's important. And sorry, I didn't even put the directions on there. Geez, south and then east. So south and then east. This is important because we're going to find the location on the map later. And so what we're going to do is we're going to mark. So it looks like for the weeks, so this is the weeks that it is over that maximum mean temperature in 2002. So if it's 0, obviously you're not going to get any bleaching. If it's between 0 and 4, there is bleaching that is possible. If it's between 4 and 8, bleaching was likely. If you get over 8, then there is a good chance that coral reef died during that time period. And so what you'll do is look at this. And so we're looking at 2002. So remember, you got to be careful. You're looking at the one on the right for all of these. And so it looks like 20.7 was in 2002. So we go over here to 2002 and we put 20.7. Holy cow. In 2000, so that coral likely died in that time period. So I don't know what was left for the rest of these years. A 1.5. So this is in this range right here. So bleaching was possible. One thing to understand about coral bleaching, corals can recover. Corals can, even if they die, just like people, just like if people die, areas can repopulate. But the problem is that these coral bleaching events are occurring so often that the coral is really just staying dead for long periods of time. And that's really the big problem. And then back in 2016, or 14, sorry, with 16.3. So that's another one that's over here. So big problems in Fiji, 16.3. And so once you have that information, now we're going to color code them on the map. I'm going to tell you right now, no one is getting 0. So I'm just going to ignore that one. So what are the colors? And so with bleaching possible, let me just use the colors that are here. Bleaching possible, we're going to be using the color green, and I'll show you what that looks like. For anything that is in the middle where bleaching is likely, we're going to be using orange. And then where there is mortality likely, so the coral likely died, we're going to be using red. Ooh. Let's try that again. Okay, and so this is where we're going to go to the map. And so now we'll go back here. Just want to make sure when you guys pick one here, make sure that you edit and put in your name in there. And you have to have Google Sheets, and you have to edit it from Google Sheets. You may want to, if this comes up, you may want to download it and then open it up in Google Sheets, or I don't know how this works here, but usually when you open up the first time, it asks you if you want to open up in Google Sheets. And so you want to open up Google Sheets so you can edit it, so you can make sure your name is in there. For some reason, if this is not working and there's something goes wrong, whatever, and you want to pick one, just email me and I can add it to the Google Sheets. That way no one picks the same one. Or just go down here at the bottom and pick one of these bottom ones. They'll probably not likely be picked. You'll download that file there, and then so that's that. And so now we're back in Canvas, and so you're going to type your name in that location, that Google Sheet that I just showed you, so no one does the same one. And so now we want to color code them on the map here. So this is an interactive whiteboard, and so when you click the link there to put the dots, it's going to take you here, and it's going to have you, I'm going to sign up using, you want to sign up using your Google, and I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, and so it's going to take you to this interactive whiteboard, and so what we're going to see here is you see maps of the world from year 2002 and 2010 and 2014. And you'll see that all the locations are kind of pre-marked there. They're little dashed circles. So it should make finding your location pretty easy. And so we want to check and make sure. So we were 18.5 south, and then I think it was 100. So I'm going to navigate back to here. So it was 18.5 south and 178.5 east here. Okay. So we got to find 18 south. So it looks like it's right here. Oh, it's even labeled Fiji. It's kind of hard to see. It'll clear up, I think, once we start writing here, but it's kind of a blurry, but I can see the location right here, kind of in the center of my map. It says Fiji right there. And so what I want to do, so this, first of all, this is 2002. In 2002, looks like it was in the red. So what we're going to do is click our marker over here, and you want to click the biggest one. The biggest one, I'm going to make the thickness all the way big, and it was in the red. Okay, so I'm going to select red here, and basically just color that in just like that. Okay, it's okay that it's that big. You want them kind of big so that everybody can see them. And so now, when we zoom out, I know I got a red one right there. Now, in 2010, we were green. So I'm going to go to the exact same location here. Only now I'm going to choose green. Okay. And then in the 2014, same location, was back to red. There you go. And so that's it. And so now every single person who comes in here is going to come on there and add their own points to the same graphs. So I'm done there. And that's it. That's all you're going to do. In the Notability, you won't be able to do the rest of these until everyone else puts their answers in there. So you're going to wait until everybody puts those in there, so it won't be till after Friday. So this is not going to be due until next week, and then we'll turn them in. So once everybody's in there after Friday, you'll be able to everybody would put their stuff in there. So anyways, that's it. Let me know or email me if you have any questions, and